Jesus! Look at this! After we learned about Bowser's lore, there were so many comments telling me to check out this video about this death battle between Bowser and Eggman. Now, I've heard about the death battles before, obviously, but to be completely honest, I don't think I've ever seen one of these. It does seem like an interesting concept though, although I do feel like it can create a lot of discourse within several different communities. However, I've heard this one is really good, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this shakes down. I don't really know too much about Eggman, but we're obviously going to get an overview of him before the fight starts here. But of course, as always, before we start, make sure to go and support the original video. Link to that is at the very top of the description, as always.
Sponsored by Marvel Snap and Prize Picks.
Bowser versus Dr. Eggman.
The king of the Koopas and the baddest of badniks. And they're not alone.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Ah, the Mushroom Kingdom. A peaceful land of kindness, adventure.
Bowser's actually just an absolute Giga Chad. This man was like, I'm gonna be the greatest villain ever. And he truly meant it. Now, here's the thing though, we're involving their entire armies as well. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about Eggman, so I can't even make a prediction as to how this fight will go. Bowser does have a lot of loyal followers, however.
Love.
Ah, boring! Move aside, princess! It's time this place got way more awesome! Here comes King Koopa himself, better known as Bowser!
The moment this orphan star child was found by Kamek, it was clear Bowser would command the disparate outcasts of the Mushroom.
Oh, I remember seeing some comments from you guys telling me about how I think the in-lore reason that people are born is because storks kind of bring them down. And for Bowser, unfortunately, he was stuck in an orphanage until his master found him. The poor guy. There's a lot about Bowser's backstory that makes a whole lot of sense as to how he became the way that he is. Or even how he treats Bowser Jr. as well. Like he's just a genuinely good parent.
World. The Koopa
Even if he's a little bit
Sadly,
evil.
not everyone's born a toad, and they treat these critters like monsters, fated to a life of infinite jump farming for one-ups.
Bowser wanted a different world, but Princess Peach Toadstool would never allow the evil king's day in the sun. Her light was so bright, Bowser became infatuated with her.
So he turned all the toads into bricks and kidnapped her, putting their princess in another castle, and another, like 40
Again.
years of castles,
And
only to be
again.
released if she agrees to marry him and his dad bod.
Yet he was foiled time and time again by those pesky Mario brothers. However, Bowser is nothing if not persistent.
Look at him! Dude's built like a brick house strapped to a saw trap.
Oh, for sure. Like, there was a one section in one of the latest Mario games where you got to play as Bowser, and the amount of power that you possess was immense. This guy is strong, very persistent, and I enjoy the fact that in every single game that he's in, he becomes better and better. It's also a really good thing, too, to, like, incorporate the new mechanics that were introduced in that Mario game into the Bowser fight, which kind of gives that evolution of character.
That spiked shell takes a lot of punishment. Not even the weight of a castle can scratch it, especially when he rolls up like a prehistoric Beyblade.
And the Koopa King doesn't just breathe fire and control lava, he commands nature itself.
Spitting meteors from outer space, beckoning the earth with a snap, inhaling torrents of wind, straight up calling down lightning. What else has he got?
Oh, just a little dabbling in dark magic.
Hell yeah, Wizard Turtle.
The original NES manual even describes him as a sorcerer king. Magic is how he turned the toads into
really?
bricks, only countered by the princess's heart magic.
But that's not
That I
all
did
the
not
magic
know.
he's mastered. Telekinesis, creating perfect clones, reanimating his undead skeleton, and worst of all, ruining every game of Mario Party. Hey, no, I stole those coins fair and square.
Oh, man.
Bowser spent decades hoarding treasures, coins, magic star rods, warships, clown cars, you name it. This is the same guy that created multiple flying castles fashioned after his own face.
Yeah, he's
True.
definitely got an ego on him. He's talked about having a 4-digit IQ, but I've seen this moron put death traps in his own backyard. A man after my own heart.
Despite his
Hey, look, he's got to go easy on the Mario Brothers, alright? If he didn't give them any chance of winning, then that victory would be so empty whenever he did win.
Clumsiness, Bowser's charisma and leadership brought many to his side. Not enough to defeat Mario, but his army doesn't make it easy on the Red Plumber.
They're the most wicked band of misfits this side of World 8-4, the Koopa Troop.
An army
Now this, I wasn't expecting as somebody who was just like a casual viewer of the Mario franchise. I thought they were just minions that were created in order to be enemies to Mario. But they, you know, they're actual people. They live out their lives and they work for Bowser because they have a whole lot of respect for him. And I can understand why. And Bowser does take care of his people. Otherwise, they obviously wouldn't follow him. He's not some sort of tyrannical leader who oppresses them and forces them into work. He's there to be the strongest, and he's gonna show them how to become strong.
army spanning multiple territories across the Mushroom World and beyond.
Goombas, Koopas, the Troopas, and the others make up the infantry. Some with wings, some in shoes, and some even in race cars. They're the red shirts, first in and first out.
Piranha plants, bloopers, and lakitus use their surroundings to get the jump on unsuspecting prey, by land, sea, or sky.
We'd be here forever jotting down the small fries, booze, shy guys, sentient bombs with feet, and more.
It was imperative for Bowser to nurture a unit that covers their own vulnerabilities. For example, Kamek and King Boo both have magic, but Boo has battlefield control with illusions and destabilizing dimensions, while Kamek focuses on buffing allies, canceling enemy powers, summoning anything he desires.
Or swapping my items to screw up my Mario Party lead. Not again.
Speaking of items, most of the minions can use pretty much any power-up Mario can. The Goombas make frequent use of Tanuki tails, and
That
Bowser
I
can
didn't
really
know.
get into the cat roleplay. But as the Koopa Troop grew and grew, it started to feel less like an army and more like a family unit.
Oh, you mean like his kids, the Koopalings?
They're adopted.
What's the difference?
Good point. Bowser took them in and even trained them in dark magic.
Though no one's as spoiled as his natural Nepo baby, Bowser Jr., captain of the...
The natural Nepo baby. Jesus. We didn't get any lore about the other Koopalings, but I'm assuming it's kind of a similar situation where they were brought down by a stork and he brought them under his wing.
Koopa Troop.
Spoiled is an understatement. Remember his escapades as Shadow Mario? He terrorized Delfino Plaza with literal evil paint. That whole debacle was basically his attempt at elementary school art class.
And I bet Bowser still has some on the fridge. But really, the king is very protective of his kids. If the fam's in trouble, he can will himself to transform into a giant kaiju, all to
Giga
crush whatever
Bowser.
bullies target smack.
Maybe a little overkill. Just one punch from Giant Bowser launched a castle out of orbit. Taking into account the
Very
flight path and the
powerful.
scale of their universe, Bowser's punch must have hit with a force of over 125
Oh my
trillion tons
God.
of TNT. Considering how Yoshi punted poor Raphael the Raven so hard he exploded into a constellation of stars, this isn't even close to Bowser's full strength.
So don't bully his kid, especially if he falls into some of Bowser Jr.'s set of black paint. That stuff's scary.
Enough to unleash Bowser's Dark Fury, a form whose very
Ooh,
steps
this
cause
form.
widespread
Dude, it looks so freaking badass. I love how Bowser's design is so flexible too. Like, it can go from his usual self to a softer kind of side to him, to also an extremely scary side while still maintaining the entire silhouette. Like, you know that it's Bowser, even if it looks like a freaking monster.
natural disasters.
Okay, seriously, how does Mario ever beat this guy? He's like Godzilla, Doctor Strange, and John Cena all in one big turtle.
We're not even to the best part.
this
Bowser's
one.
dark magic became so potent he eventually learned how to warp the very fabric of reality.
Anything the king imagines, he makes happen. He turned all of Yoshi's Island into a storybook. And remember those painted worlds in Mario?
Wait, he turned it into a storybook? I thought that was like a stylistic choice. Oh, that's really cool. And then the paintings in the Mario 64 game were his doing as well. Does that mean that all the galaxy stuff that happens later on too, and all like the new powers that are introduced are because Bowser introduces them? I mean, there must be some like in-universe things that are already there. It's not all Bowser, but as somebody who hasn't played any of the games, it just brings it into question.
Mario 64? Yeah, he made those. And the staircase that goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Oh God, does anyone anyone know how to BLJ?
He also stole ultra-powerful items like the Wonder Flower, which can mold reality like Play-Doh, and the Dreamstone, which can be used to wish someone out of existence.
But his most iconic thefts are those big shiny power stars.
Don't judge a book by its cover. Infant power stars, aka Lumas, can become whole galaxies. They also ferried Mario across the universe in 3 seconds. That's 489 quadrillion
Jesus.
times light speed.
Obviously, the Big Daddy Grand Stars are even crazier. Bowser used one to power his space kingdom, but then guess who showed up to ruin everything? It's a him!
And when the Grand Star was freed, it caused a chain reaction that destroyed the entire universe via a massive black hole.
Thanks, Space Guy.
What is up with these series, man? Like, at first, the scale that Kirby was operating on kind of blew me away. And now Mario too. Like, I guess I just never knew anything about these series. Not enough to know how grand their scope is. Or how insanely powerful these characters actually are.
God, that Rosalina showed up to save the day.
Not that Bowser needed saving. He's been swallowed by another black hole and thrown into a star that went supernova.
Imagine if
he's
this
a rise.
crazy OP fire turtle had to fight himself. Oh wait, he did, and he beat the
him
hell
too.
out of him.
Yeah.
With all this power, it's a wonder he still hasn't conquered the Mushroom Kingdom. Perhaps it's because his visions of grandeur were never really what he sought. Surrounding him is a crew of outcasts and miscreants like him, ride or dies that can't be swayed against him.
Oh, are you saying he's secretly happy because he's got a big monster family now?
Yes, but
I mean, who wouldn't be? Wouldn't that be awesome?
also, when they actually worked together, they legitimately conquered most of the known universe. So,
He's a baddie through and through who will teleport through space and time to show you what's what. Because he's no ordinary Koopa. Make way for the king!
Right, I'm
this battle
assuming
is
we're getting
sponsored by
Dr.
Prize
Eggman now.
Picks.
Prize
Or-
Picks is the
sponsor
best place
first.
to get real money sports action. And its daily fantasy sports is super easy to get into.
That's right, Boomstick.
Oh,
no
God,
need to
Jake
worry
Paul.
about going up against somebody who knows way more than you do.
All you gotta do is pick more or less on 2 or more players, and you're up for a shot to win big.
As someone who spends literally all of his time running numbers on anything and everything, I appreciate a system that takes a lot of the guesswork out and lets you actually win through skill.
Yeah, like how they've got an actual injury insurance policy. As in, injuries don't ruin your lineup. It's crazy this isn't more common. It's already saved my butt for sure.
And withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. I can get my money in as little as 15 minutes.
Download the app today and use code DEATH to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup.
That's code DEATH to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup.
Prize Picks, run your game.
Citizens of Earth, lend me your ears. Imagine a
is
world
this?
of endless possibility where people are free as the wind. Isn't it disgusting? Now
What?
imagine a better world, one with proper guidance and the technology to bring about global peace.
But
Yes, the classic mad scientist. Once again, in case you're new here on the channel, I know nothing about Sonic. I only ever played the first video game, the first Sonic game, and I never looked into it more than that. I haven't even seen the Sonic movies.
whiz, only a brilliant mind can make that happen.
Not just any brilliant mind, he's a genius at heart who knows the dangers within. He's Ivo Robotnik.
Dr. Eggman.
As a mad scientist myself, his story is my inspiration, just as Eggman's was
Oh,
his
really?
grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, who
Well, as a mad scientist myself, I can't say I knew of him, unfortunately. I was inspired by a different mad scientist.
sought to create world peace through technology. But then his beloved granddaughter, Maria, was killed by the Guardian Unit of Nations, better known
The frick?
as...
Gun. They're freaking called
Gun?
G-U-N.
They're called Gun? What? Also, where does Sonic come into this? What? There are humans in the Sonic lore?
Anyway, Lil Eggy grew up a lonely narcissist.
Well, I mean, Dr. Eggman is a human, although his proportions kind of don't really... But whatever, you know, it's a cartoon, it's a game. I'd always assumed it was just like people like Sonic, and then there was Dr. Eggman being the one true villain, controlling all the animals and whatnot. Actually, wasn't that the plot of the first game? If I recall, I think we did end up freeing like a bunch of animals that he had captured for whatever reason.
Because all his family talked about was Maria this, Maria that. Boo-hoo!
Neglect and envy tainted Ivo's goals of following Gerald's footsteps. He distanced himself from his grandfather's legacy. Instead of bettering the world, he would conquer it to get the attention he deserved.
No, you mean craved. Desperately craved.
Tomato, tomato.
You just said it the same way twice.
He aimed to establish Eggman Land, a capital of science. And this paradise would have worked just fine if not for that blasted Sonic the Hedgehog.
For years, Eggman's plans literally blew up in his face. And he's a very sore loser.
But just like any good experiment, the doctor did more testing, seeking better results.
He's created plenty of knickknacks to terrorize the world with. A laser gun, a cloning ray, mind control cannons, a flying armada, typical evil scientist stuff.
Then there's the big ones. He invented a spatial displacement trap, which, while online, scatters a target's atoms across space. Oh, and then there's the metal virus, which transmutes organic tissue into living metal zombies. It's so deadly, it created a plague that nearly wiped out all life on Earth.
Shame
Jesus.
Eggman never made himself immune to it. That's a whoopsie.
And when he's not
Oof.
duping you with decoys, he's riding in style with the Eggmobile. It's lightweight for maneuverability, but
You know, alright. You could probably say a lot of things about Dr. Eggman, but he's very consistent with his branding.
tough enough to withstand moon-sized explosions and even the center of a black hole.
I mean, it's kinda lame looking, but he can plug it into big bad mechs like the Egg Walker or the Death Egg Robot, whose giant laser once obliterated 77,000 cubic meters of rock in an instant. That's like having an atomic bomb in your pocket all the time. Oh, okay, maybe this guy's pretty cool.
Eggman built machines for a long list of combat situations. Some look like knights, others use extraterrestrial sources like the Wisps, and then there's the
Extraterrestrial? Also, isn't that just the Death Star? What?
orbital bases, like the Death Egg.
The reference
Death
is
Egg.
obvious, but Darth Vader's
Yeah.
version is like a toy compared to the Death Egg, which can annihilate stars. Woof! A whole constellation gone in one shot.
That's not to say Eggman doesn't enjoy scrapping with blue hedgehogs himself. Enter the Egg Dragoon.
Hell yeah! The rawest of the battle mechs. It's got electric drills. It's got ice missiles. It's got a whole lot of bullets.
Okay, look, all of this is great and all, but now this just gets me intrigued. How do these freaking hedgehogs fit into this universe? Like, what is going on here?
My God, Wiz! I need it.
And don't forget, Eggman built all of these things himself. Maybe world domination is in his grasp yet.
One problem.
He's very smart.
Eggman's a turbo loner. No hobbies,
Sag.
no friends.
Oh, wait, was he? Oh my god. I think that's Korone. Hey, Eggman watches VTubers. Based. He's definitely gonna win this fight.
Loner. No hobbies, no friends, no wife, no nothing.
Poor
Come
guy.
on, he has friends. I mean, he's a feminist.
Huh?
Oh, okay, maybe not.
What?
But what about Infinite? Sure, they might have joined forces over a mutually sought revenge against Shadow, but it counts. Sort of. Who needs friends when you can build friends?
Obviously,
Oh, that's so sad. Honestly, at this point, then I think Dr. Eggman's gonna lose. Bowser just has the power of friendship. Like, it's impossible to beat him.
Eggman has a tough time collaborating with others, so he just built his own army instead.
The Eggman Empire.
The Badniks are mass-produced foot soldiers, buzz bombers, crab meats, caterkillers, egg robos, and don't forget those cute little moto bugs. The Badniks may seem simple, but they're led by an elite, multi-talented unit. The hard-boiled heavies. Really leaning into the egg thing, huh?
The army
Yeah.
has a wide variety of troops, even your classic comedy duo with Orbot and Cubot. They're Eggman's assistants and immense disappointments. Every genius has their duds.
Hey, at least they're not Scratch and Grounder. But that's why he's made top-notch bots modeled after the Sonic cast, like everyone's favorite robo-faker, Metal Sonic.
Metal Sonic
Metal
has the
Sonic.
most horsepower in the Eggman.
When did this trend start? There has to be like a robotic version of the main character. We got Robo Kai from the Guilty Gear series, as well as Mecha Godzilla, which honestly looks really badass. I kind of like the design a lot for that one.
An empire. He has the moves and speed of Sonic and then some. He's had his rebellious phases, but Eggman's reprogrammed Metal to better follow his commands. Additionally, when upgraded to his Neo form, Metal Sonic could copy biological data, including unique powers like Shadow's time stop technique, Chaos Control.
He could even copy Silver's psychokinesis, and with enough chaos energy, he powers up into Super Neo Metal Sonic.
Though everything would change with the appearance of the Phantom Ruby. One of many trump cards at Eggman's disposal, the Phantom Ruby alters reality by manipulating perception.
Basically super OP illusions, but in Infinite's hands, it's a weapon of mass destruction. I don't know how illusions
That's pretty
translate
cool.
to body replicas, changing gravity, or making a fake sun, but go off, King!
And when used on the planet's consciousness, which is a thing, the Ruby granted
Wait, huh? The planet's consciousness? Are we delving into like the spiritual aspect of the world, that the world is a living being and we can channel energy through it or something? I think the Eldar from 40k have something similar. It's not really a unique concept, but once again, as somebody who knows nothing about Sonic lore, like what the heck is going on? I didn't know that there was this much.
Eggman the Lightman form. Yep, apparently
Lightman.
Super Eggman is canon, though it
Super
is pretty
Saiyan.
complicated to manifest.
But the Phantom Ruby isn't the only souped-up gem Eggman has. He's used the Jeweled Scepter to make the world-shattering Egg Wizard. Then, on more than one occasion, he's effortlessly gathered the super rare, super powerful Chaos Emeralds. You know, the things that power Super Saiyan Hedgehog.
Eggman built and built and built, and eventually, he built something that started to build on him. Sage was originally designed as a mere assistant, but through an alien encounter, she was granted actual sentience.
Sage is already super powerful, but now she's also super smart. She thought up millions of battle plans all at once to defeat the massive titans.
And you can barely remember
The
where
what?
you put your Dune Bug.
I know exactly where it is.
What is going on anymore? Jesus. Okay, dude, we're gonna have to do a Sonic video after this one. You can't throw all this at me and expect me not to do a lore deep dive on this.
It's at the police impound. Thank you very much.
Sage was Eggman's saving grace. He had previously found machines with personality lacking, but Sage's great adequacy in serving her function provided Eggman with something that, for the first time, he'd hate to lose.
A connection.
In essence, a sort of daughter.
So, like any good dad, he gave her the keys to his car, his spaceship, and his orbital death ray. Hell, now
yeah.
she controls the entire army.
And this frankly unheard of trust from Eggman became crucial in defeating the End, a primordial entity so mighty even Supersonic struggled against it.
Their
What the
battle can only
frick?
be described as peak fiction, because charged by 7 Chaos Emeralds, Supersonic's no joke.
The power of one emerald can shift continents. All 7 together can shift the universe.
And kill some
What are these? Like the Infinity Stones? Can Super Saiyan Sonic over here just snap reality out of existence?
pretty terrifying bosses, like Eggman's Time Eater, which ripped apart space-time like tissue paper.
In short, Chaos Emeralds give thoughts power. With them, Eggman's best machines can run indefinitely while matching the greatest powers ever seen. Like when 3 supers battled Solaris, who tried to destroy time itself. Solaris extended its chaos across multiple timelines in about 20 seconds, or 73 quadrillion times light speed.
It's funny though, while Eggman's smarts have sort of defeated Sonic here and there, he's pretty effective when he teams up with the Blue Blur to save the world.
Well, recall how Professor Gerald was a good person before losing the granddaughter he loved. In Eggman's case, now that he has Sage,
He gained a
perhaps a similar
gained a
story
daughter.
is playing out in reverse.
Oh, we can always hope.
Eggy,
Look, I mean, King Dedede turned around and Bowser kind of got his moment to shine in being the hero. You never know.
will always have a harebrained scheme behind his cufflinks.
So watch out, critters and plebeians of the world. He is the Eggman, and he's got the master plan.
Wiz, you gotta help me.
What happened now?
I'm
Sponsor.
addicted to Marvel Snap.
You
I've
mean
actually been
today's
playing a lot of
sponsor, the
Marvel
collectible card
Rivals,
game,
though.
the one with
That game
everyone's
is really
favorite Marvel
fun.
characters?
It's just such a fast-paced rush. Each game only takes like 3 minutes, and the different locations, card powers, and snap mechanic add so many layers of depth and strategy for a game that's so easy to get into.
Don't forget the amazing 3D art.
Oh man, with all the new art variants and cards coming out every week, I can't stop playing it.
Sorry, can't help you. I'm addicted too.
No! Well, good thing it's super fun.
I know, right? I love my deck. It focuses on tactically placing low-cost cards, then boosting their power way beyond what's expected.
Oh yeah? Well, mine's got a big dinosaur. He's awesome. Oh, watch the teeth.
Download the Marvel Snap app, now available on the App Store, Google Play, and Steam.
Or visit marvelsnap.com to learn more. Just click the link below the like button.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
Okay. Oh my god. Actually, the live action Bowser, though. I don't know what the heck that was. I haven't seen the movie. I did see a clip of it. Let's just forget about it. There was a whole lot of craziness from Dr. Eggman's side, but ultimately I still think Bowser takes this. I mean, there's a reason why he's like one of gaming's most iconic villains.
It's time for a death battle!
Starting at Bowser's wedding. Rip.
I've come to make an announcement. This territory is now the base for my upcoming Eggman Land 2. What a joke! I am Dr. Eggman, your new G.
Also, can we talk about the quality of this animation? Like, oh my god. Are all the death battles like this?
Yes, overlord.
It's insane.
Get alone.
No wonder why we had 2 sponsors. Like, imagine how much this would have cost. Jesus! Look at this!
Nerd.
Bro, I'd watch an entire series like this. Also, do we have like our own custom song here too?
Toys an invasion force? Let's see Toads do better. That's a decoy, idiot. Infinite! His power is without
Oh, well. What was that? Infinity? Was that your name? Bowser, no! King Boo! Help us! Oh, rip. Yikes. Right. Oh! The Mario Party thing. No, King Boo.
Chance time?
It's too late.
Alright, we're going Super Saiyan. Oh no! I mean, I don't think that's gonna be enough to kill Bowser, right? Like, Bowser survived a literal star exploding.
According to plan.
You've lost the battle before it has begun.
Excellent work as always, Beto. Ready to wrap this up, Sage?
As you command.
You know what they say, the more the merrier. Showtime!
I don't think we really covered, like, what Bowser Jr.'s powers are, but this is really good. Creating God Bowser over here. Heck yeah, I love this kaiju battle. Like, literally, too. That shell is a lot tougher than it looks. Although these freaking Chaos Emeralds or whatever they're called, like, they're so OP if they can just make thought into reality. That's kind of how, like, the orcs in 40k are. Like, they would be incredibly OP if they all got together and thought the same thing, but, you know, thank goodness that they don't do that. No, pipes everywhere. Wait, was the master the one who made all those pipes? Is that how that worked? No! No! My son!
How dare you keep your hands off my...
Ooh, with the power to create galaxies. Holy shit. This is so freaking cool. Dude, this reminds me of, like, kind of like the final fight in Tengen-toppa Gurren Lagann.
Death Egg! Max power!
I gotta get my Gurren Lagann reference into a video there. Even the move. Bro, we just tanked that. And we, oh no, we're reduced to bones. But we can come back anyways, right? Right? No.
Sage, fire if it didn't.
Oh. Oh no. RNG. Oh, that turned into 2D. Later. Holy, that was incredible.
This war was not an easy one to win, which might seem surprising given how the Sonic series is not afraid to show how tough its cast is, while Mario's comes across as more cartoony.
But as it turns out, Bowser had everything he needed to take Chrome Dome down. Strap in, this one's a lot, so we'll break it down into 5 categories.
First up is physical stats. Bowser pretty handedly outmatched any of Eggman's usual mechs, like the Egg Dragoon or the Death Egg Robot.
The Death Egg Robot could level cities. Bowser could punch a castle out of orbit.
The Death Egg could destroy stars, but Yoshi could match that level of power, and Bowser's strength is certainly above the green dinosaurs. Plus, while both Bowser and Eggman's tech survived black holes, Bowser's was much larger.
So, he may win stats, but this could change with their powers. With so many items and minions, that could make all that a moot point.
Oh man, it's so difficult to compare all these different stats because there's just a lot of nuance behind all of it. Because even if they have items that function similarly within the laws of their universe, the outcome when they interact with each other will still be vastly different depending on who you ask.
Aside from power-up items, both could manipulate minds, create duplicates, and alter space-time. However, Bowser had a significant edge in having access to the majority of his abilities at all times.
Yeah, Eggman can do some crazy stuff, but only across different mechs, fortresses, or space bases. Bowser's all natural. He's got all his best powers built in, and he ain't even a robot.
Meaning he wins the war of attrition. He even had counters for battle enders like the Metal Virus and Spatial Displacement Trap. Context matters for those weapons, and both backfired in the past. But more importantly, Bowser could simply reverse the effects with his transmutation magic. Conversely, most of Eggman's robots could get turned into, say, a frog or a block with no reliable way back. Bowser takes the edge in powers.
But definitely not for intelligence.
Yeah. Bowser's not the brightest out there, but he's got the heart. Although I do appreciate that he's not, like, stupid. He's not that dumb. Although one of the spin-off games kind of made him that way. Generally, his character in the Mario RPG as well as Super Paper Mario don't seem to be that way.
Come on, you have a 4-digit IQ, Bowser? Really? That's cute. I mean, don't get me wrong. Bowser's not an idiot, usually. Just really, really clumsy. Poor fella.
Meanwhile, Eggman's an engineering genius who rarely ever gets bested by brains.
Easy dub. Now, let's talk trump cards.
As in, items so powerful they could decide the entire outcome on their own.
The Phantom Ruby was super dangerous, but specifically targets perceptions. Unlike Bowser's Wonder Flower, which mucks up reality for real. The Ruby affected a whole planet, but the Wonder Flower had the power to alter the universe. Also, the Dreamstone's ability to wish anything out of existence would have no problem cleaning up Super Neo Metal Sonic or Time Eater.
Their most prized possessions was a tougher call. Together, the Chaos Emeralds can break the universe, but so can the Grand Stars. Arguably not as much given the Emerald scaling to Solaris, though Power Stars and Grand Stars are far more plentiful. Clearly, this is getting fairly abstract, and both had multiple options that could win the day instantly, so the safest bet is to call this category a tie.
Which means it's finally time to compare their armies. Eggman seems deadlier at first glance. I mean, look at all those buttons.
I mean, it's a robot army. They don't have the heart and the motivation that Bowser's army has. They all got each other's back.
Saws and rockets. Metal Sonic's speed and power alone could solo most of the Koopa Troop, but the Eggman Empire lacked something Bowser had in spades: teamwork and loyalty.
Eggman is a notoriously terrible team player. His alliances are practically guaranteed to fall apart.
Hell, in Sonic Generations, he could barely manage working with himself.
Eggman's army is designed to be controlled by just him. To Eggman, it's harder to command those with free will, hence his rivalry with the free-natured Sonic.
Meanwhile, the Koopa Troop follows Bowser because they actually like him. They train really hard to cover each other's weak points,
Giving them plenty of advantages as this war progressed, like battlefield control through King Boo's magic and Bowser Jr.'s paint. And since the Koopa Troop doesn't rely that much on technology, Sage's hacking potential had little use.
Also, secret weapon? Kamek is kinda busted, canceling Metal Sonic's power copying, stealing the Phantom Ruby, and potentially swapping the Chaos Emeralds were huge game changers.
Add on
That's what I was like, bro, we're taking the Super Mario Party approach to this fight. Just absolute RNG BS. Which is actually really smart design for a party game. Ultimately, you do want it to be at a level where if you're competent, you can win. But there still has to be enough of a luck factor so that when you do lose, it's like, ah, man, it's because of the RNG and you can blame it on that. Or like there could be a massive upset so that somebody who is less skilled than the other player might end up winning regardless. Obviously, it's not such a great thing in something that is meant to be like an esport or a competitive game. But for a party game, it's perfect.
on that Bowser and his army can use any Mario power-up item, and they had millions, no, billions of combinations that the Eggman Empire just could not actively plan against. Even with Sage's millions of plans to take down the Titans, she thought them to be unbeatable, which Sonic proved was incorrect.
Just comparing their conquests makes it clear. The Eggman Empire took over the whole planet, but Bowser's troop conquered most of the universe.
Eggman was no pushover. His wit, power output, and ridiculous machines gave Bowser the biggest fight of his life. But the Koopa King's ludicrous strength, abilities, and united forces ultimately prevailed.
Eggman tried to poach the king, and now he's cracked and scrambled.
The winner is Bowser.
Next time on Death Battle.
Oh my god. There are so many other ones. What? Among Us? Among Us versus Fall Guys? What the hell? What kind of battle is that
and join
gonna
as a
be?
member to see more Death Battle. Thanks for watching.
But yeah, that was freaking epic, man. I wasn't expecting the animation to pop off like that. I guess no wonder why this series is so popular. Thank you guys so much for suggesting it, by the way. I definitely think after this, I'll have to take a look into the Sonic lore, because all the things that were mentioned here were really out there. Sounds way up my alley, too. I think Designing4 has a video on some of the Sonic lore, so I might check that one out first, since I'm a bit more familiar with them. But that's going to be it from me today, my dudes. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one.